Hey everyone, welcome. We're going to be working on some new stuff. We've been working through the like creating blog posts and all that stuff. So most of that's set up on the front end. We've designed the index page, we've designed the individual blog pages. I still need to chop up those live videos to make sure that I can get them up and uploaded on YouTube. But we want to continue on with this whole path of making all of our content management system complete. So we're going to go a little bit deeper into PayloadCMS. We do have some NextJS concepts as well, where we're going to be rendering our metadata on the front end. We have a metadata component that we can use to help us with that. And I also want to fix a hook that we were using or trying to use for our canonical automatic creation of our canonical field. So we can do that using hooks, and I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm actually going to start with that. I've heard from a lot of you that hooks have been one of the things that have been the most difficult to grasp, so I'm excited to get some live content out on that. And if we have time, we'll go over generate static params, but I don't think we're going to have time. I think we're going to spend most of the time on our metadata and getting this hook working. So let's go ahead and get started then. So we've got our screen up here. On the left, we have our posts, and then on the right, we've got our actual code. And so let's look here. So we'll start with the canonical hook. So I've got in the SEO canonical. Let's take a look at that, because I think I've put it in a couple times, but maybe I did the hook right. So let's go take a look at our blog. So our posts. Then we come down to our, this is driving me crazy, it's in the way. Ugh. All right, hopefully that works, and that's fine. All right, so we're gonna go look for, we've got our, that's a different hook. So let's look up canonical text. So hook before change. And so really this could actually be, do we want after change or do we want before change? I think we can just keep it with before change and make sure that this actually works. But it may actually be a after change or an after change hook. So let's take a look. We have a couple of posts here. We could actually, I think, do this a little differently. If I go here, can I look at my columns? Got SEO, and we got canonical there. So here we have one without a canonical. So let's go ahead and open it up. Go to SEO, and then canonical is there. Let's auto-generate some things. Oh, I don't have anything. Alright, so test description, test summary, and then we'll choose from existing images, use the same one we use all the time. We'll set a date for the future. Oh, that's actually going to be a good test, and I'll show you why in a second. So if I hit save here and then go, not the versions, go to SEO. Okay, so the canonical is working right. For some reason, I didn't think it was. All right, so my thumbnail is a lie then. Now we'll work on hooks somewhere, I'm sure. But we can auto-generate this, this, and this. I'm actually really surprised that the hook is working. Yeah, because, yeah, interesting. Oh well. So the hook is working. What this is doing is it's an async function. It's taking data as an argument. The data that I'm getting back is the data that is validated, so it's already been validated and it is about to be updated. It has not been updated yet, so I can have access to any hidden fields, any restricted fields that my user is actually able to edit. Oh, I guess at the code level I can set whatever I want. I'm the creator. And so this is looking at data, and I'm returning the data slug at the end of my next public site URL, which when this is deployed would obviously be an environment variable in Vercel or wherever you're hosting your site. And then appending blog, and we have our data slug at the end, which is right there. So let's see what happens if I update our slug, because I want to change this title to future blog. And so if I save this, I don't think anything else is going to change. Yeah, so let's go ahead and set this to be future blog and hit save. And if I refresh, does my canonical change? It does. Okay, so that's fine. Let's see what happens if I do after change. I may need to change this to doc. Nope, data is good. So we'll set that, and then just to test this, do future blog test. So nothing happens there. Weird. So let's do before validate then. Let's see. Okay, so future blog, the canonical does not change. I guess it must be a before change hook only then. It's just so weird that it doesn't update right away unless I refresh. What else do I have? Let's see what happens with after read. I still have access to data. So then if I set slug to future blog, I would really like this to update without having to refresh. Well, I don't have many options, so it's either... Can I do... Let's do... previous doc is not what I'm looking for. So data is the right thing. Oh well. Alright, so I'll leave it as before change. So this hook was right. It just only updates when it wants to update, I guess. I don't actually know why that went back to test when it should just be future blog. There we go. That works. Alright, so the thing that I wanted to test is if I go to localhost and then I go to blog, not glog, blog, I don't think I sorted out for date. So, no, I did. Okay. Wow, I'm on it today. Alright, perfect. But now we can click in and we see this is the title. So let's go back over to our blog. Blog page, that's fine. So blog, dependent. All right, so here's where we're gonna do some stuff. So you'll notice up here, we don't have any metadata created. So that's a problem, we need to fix that. So let's take a look here. What happens if I do, first I wanna see future blog. And so I don't want this to show up. So we need to change that as well. So let's take a look at that. So we're gonna query blog, slug equals that, and then we're gonna do date is less than equal today's date. So now if I save that, nothing's gonna happen there because that is undefined, which we'll want to change anyway. So if I go back to future blog, do so if this blog, oh, I think the dog wants in. Nope. He does not. Alright, so we can't destructure the property of content because it is undefined, because it doesn't exist, which is exactly what we want. That's the behavior we want, but we'd rather have this be a not found. So what we can do is check if the response exists. So what we'll do is say if response, and then put all of this there, And then we can do else return. Ideally, this would be a 404, but I'll just do this. Okay, so not exactly what I was thinking. So let's log the response. Okay, so our response is just an empty doc. So we can say if, let's move this out. Oh yeah, that makes more sense. So if blog, else return 404. There we go. So here we're controlling if there is a blog or not based on our query here. So we now have a 404. We'll come back and actually design that. But now we're going to work on metadata. So this is more of a next thing, but that's okay. So we have our, let's actually go to our documents. So NextJS, and we're going to go look at generate metadata. And so if I look at this, I'm going to zoom out a little bit so I can see more of it. We're going to, we already have our type metadata, so let's go ahead and get that in. And we have our component metadata as well. And so we can export async function. That's wrong. Get static props is not right. Get it together, JetBrains. We're going to generate metadata. And then we'll have this like that. And then hit params just in case we need it. I don't think we're going to do props. And so here, get rid of params. Oh, okay, so it's only throwing an error because I don't have anything in here yet. So we're going to return our meta. Well, first, we need to query our stuff. Get our blog post. Perfect. And then, now we do need our params. Hit props. Perfect. So that's going to query our blog post. And then again, if blog will return something, and we'll do that in a second. And then else, we can just do title. We'll just do 404. Oh, else return, and then do an object. So, but we don't want to do that. So we're going to find our, oh wait, I don't have to find it. It's right there. So we can just return our meta, which I think is this. And then we need to add our post, which we can just put blog. Property doc is missing in type post. So, oh, so I think I just need to put response dot docs. Is this even mine? It is mine. Args doc page or post. So this should be right. And yeah, I even see the type right there. It says post. So let's see what happens. If I come here and then go, yeah, well, that worked. Then let's go to the blog and then hit featured post. Cannot read properties of undefined reading meta. So let's take a look here. Oh, I think, no, it should be meta still. I think that's what I called it. Man, this is my code, so this should be fine. Args. So let's see what's going on here. So let's just let's log our blog real quick. Log blog. And then we're gonna find our meta. So I see it right there. It is indeed meta, and it's not under content. So this should be right. Yeah, and the meta is being read here, so I just need it to be the doc coming in. Which I down here logged the blog, and it came back with just the document. Which means that maybe I don't need... Okay, so at least I have it up now that it's not breaking. So I'm sending down the blog. Argument of type post is not assignable to parameter type. Do I need to put it in that? Weird. Oh, that works. Okay, so I just needed to understand what I was doing. Perfect. All right, so here I see this is my featured post, and then if I inspect and I go to our head and then look at all of this metadata here, I can see the description, I can see the canonical, I can see, let's see if that's actually right here. Oh yeah, it is, because that's the blog test slug there. But if I go to this is different, all right, then we have test 3 here, and that is indeed the canonical, so perfect. So easy enough. Let's set it up now for our, let's get this back to normal size. Set it up for our index page now. So we're going to, we're not going to copy and paste. Let's, what is this problem? It's, I think, the image. Yeah, it's the image. That's fine. Okay. So we'll worry about that in a little bit. So let's go over to our blog page, and this page will be found, so that's okay. And then we're going to export default, or not default, export async function, which is going to be generate metadata, which I believe is just metadata. And then we set it params, what we want. We can set log props. I don't know if this is how it actually works, but we'll find out in a second. Oh, perfect, it does. Is this right? It should be metadata promise, shouldn't it? Metadata. Do I even have a type for this one? I don't, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's get rid of that. And then we need to query our blog. I don't even use the page here. I just use something else. It's featured query. We don't need any of that. We just need the page. So default blog, let's find our query. Blog query is right there. Interesting. Okay, so what we actually need to do is set our own metadata, or have this take the first blog's information, which I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to. All right. So what we could do is I think this will work. We're going to try it. We're going to go to our pages. We don't have a blog page, so we're going to create a new one. And we're just going to give it a blog page. We'll go to SEO, generate the title, choose an existing image, and then this is a test description for our pages. I'm going to try the dog again. Him just needed help getting up the stairs. That was it. And now he's still barking for me. That's no, whatever. All right. So now we've got our test description for our pages. Great. Perfect. Love it. And I think that's about all we need. Page status we'll set as published just in case, and then when I hit save, SEO canonical did not get saved, so I don't think I had it for here. We'll do a hook right now. So let's go over to our pages. No, so let's go down all the way down to our collections, and we're going to look for our pages in this index, and we're going to add in here a new directory that we'll call hooks, and we're going to add a new TypeScript file that we'll call index. We're going to import, we're going to do a collection, or we'll just do it before change hook. That's all wrong. It should be from payload. Oh, yes, okay. So let's do that, and then we're going to export, create canonical, and then we'll set this to be a const. Set that equal to an async arrow function. We'll open that up, and we'll just have this return. So we come here. Let's set that to be before change hook. Can't spell hook. All right, so I think it needs to be a collection before change hook. My bad. Collection before change hook. And we're going to grab the data. And we're going to return our next public. I forget what this is called. Link, whatever. I'll fix it in a second. Let's actually, let me move this so I can open my environment variables real quick. It's next public site URL. So let's get rid of this, bring it back over. I always forget what that is. And then we will set nothing here, and then do our data.slug. And then that's already exported, so we're going to go back over to our pages, come down here to our hooks. We already have a after change. If we do before change, we can then add our create canonical. And so now, when we save that, we can add this. And then I may need to refresh, but if I restart that, yep, no, that's preview. Why didn't canonical work? Create canonical. I'm returning. Oh, I need to add this to the field. Duh. Live coding's hard, y'all. All right, so canonical hooks. We'll do before change, before create canonical. So what does the type need to be? Field before. All right, back to the docs. So if I go to PayloadCMS, wherever this brings me, and we'll go to our hooks for fields, type field. Oh, I guess there's not a type for this then. So or does it just need to be field hook? If I can spell. All right, so now let's try that again. All right, so if I refresh, does canonical just show up? Oh, gotta go back to SE. Nope. All right, so there's canonical. Let's auto-generate this. I don't have it for description. Hit save. All right, so that should definitely be working at this point. So if I log, let's check the API first. The API, yeah, so canonical showing up. It's just not showing up in the field, which is really what I wanted to do. Oh, it is now. Ugh. Sometimes, man, sometimes. All right, so we've got that hook. So I go back over to our blog page. All right, which this is what I'm looking for. So we're going to now query our page. So another, this is gonna be a nice sneak peek into using the local API as well. So, I mean, it's right there as well. So we're going to grab our page, which will be, so let's do const page equals params. But it's right there, I see it. All right, whatever. So let's log. Let me access my params. Log props. There we go. All right, so now const page equals params. Page log. Trying too hard. Log params. All right, let's take a look. Make sure I'm getting this data like I think I am. I didn't need to await, but that's fine. I guess I did. All right, scratch all that. We're just gonna go straight for the API. So we're going to query const page query is equal to, we want the slug equals, is slug right? Make sure that's what I'm looking for. It is indeed. So equals params dot slug. Let's just get rid of that type. And then we're going to const page equals await payload dot find, and then we'll do collection dot, or collection pages. We'll grab just one with a query, page query. Needs to be a object literal, may only be specified. So I think I need to get rid of this, that. Here, since this constant isn't going to be reused, we're just going to get rid of that real quick. So, oh, I'm not even looking for that. I'm looking for where, not query. There we go. And then we'll return meta for doc, not dog, doc dot doc page dot docs 0. I need to uncomment it, or I need to import it. Perfect. Okay, so let's import meta from our components. There we go. And I see our this is the default at the top level, so something not quite right here. Let's go take a look at the API and make sure that it should be meta. Yep, so title, canonical. We should at least have the title, which should say blog boilerplate. So let's take a look. Blog, so mid-low mark boilerplate name. Okay, none of that's what I'm looking for. So let's see what happens. Can I log the page? Log page. When I do that, I see no docs because blog should be though. Oh, maybe I didn't save. I did save a slug. I am very confused now. All right, so collection pages where slug equals params.slug. So let's make sure params.slug is right. Nope, it is undefined. So let's look at params. All right, so since it's a promise, I'm not getting anything. Can I log? Okay, just looking at our params here. Now let's get rid of that because that's a lot to look through. So yeah, so I see search params, promise, and I see just an empty object there. If I refresh, thought I just saw it. Yeah, route blog. Blog. All right, so if I look over here to what I just did, that worked perfectly. So if I generate metadata, params, props, so I don't need to set that. And then I can do const slug params, which should be right. So const slug params, which I guess this needs to be slug, not page anyway. So that's going to break this down here, which I wasn't even using, so I'm not too worried about that. That's the image having an error. All right, so that's good. So then this can be slug 0. Maybe just slug, because I don't think this is only returning one thing. Still boilerplate. Well, let's see if this is working for our home page. And it looks like it is. I don't know what this error is. I need to find that key. And so I think this is different. So I have generate metadata there. So yes, that's, well, it's taking it from the page template. So yeah, that's right. Okay, and then that means if I go to about, I see that as well. Let's make sure that all of the metadata is populated. Description, title, description, yeah. Perfect. All right, so I think what I'm trying to do is just not going to work. It may, because I'm just not querying the blog properly. Blog page. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. All right. Well, no, it doesn't. So I have... Oh, yes. No, it doesn't make sense. So if I want to query what I'm doing, I need to set this to be equal to blog. Yep, it's always something simple, isn't it? All right, so the problem was that I am in our blog. Really just, I'm in this page right here. I'm not in the pages slug. So any changes that I made on the back end here didn't have any effect because I was trying to essentially query anything that's like home, about, or like portfolio or anything like that. So next we need to, I'm having troubles issuing or getting to the blog. So let me go to our nav and let's add a new internal link, which will link the blog. We'll just call it blog. Doesn't need to open in a new tab. It doesn't need nested links. So I can hit save, come back over here, refresh. I've got blog. That's not what I want to be the page name, but that's fine. And that actually looks better than I thought it was going to as active. Perfect. Cool. So blog has its metadata. The blogs individually have their metadata. All of these pages have their metadata, so we're in good shape there. So let's go to our to-do list. We've fixed the canonical hook. We even added one to our posts. We've created metadata for blog posts. And I didn't think we would have time to do this, so let's generate static params for blog posts as well. So you know what, before we do that, I don't want to generate static params yet. I am tired of these image errors that I'm getting, and it's all my fault. So I'm trying to change the shape of different images to fit within one image object. So what I'm going to do is, instead of having just the one image thing here, I'm going to break it back out into a bunch of different fields that we need, which here I can see in this image object type, which is what I'm going to steal anyway. So instead of image, we're going to take file name as a string. Let's open up the object type instead of having to type this all again. So we'll take all of this, don't need file name, don't need any of that, don't need height. Credit I'll need to fix, because credit is going to be, let's see here, types. Credit type, well, let's add, I think I already have the ID and the style, so I already have style, so I can add ID. Perfect. And then the last thing to figure out is credit type, or credit rather. And then we're going to come down to, oh, I don't have it here. So let's go look it up. There we go. We're going to go to image object and add it back in. Get rid of image. And this is going to break a bunch of images. So that's fine with me though. Because again, tired of errors. It all works, it just has the same freaking errors for everything. So let's go and do file name, and so we're gonna have to do quite a bit here. So content.image we're gonna have to do some type checks here. So type of content.image does not equal string. String. And then make sure that this is not undefined here. Image dot file name. Perfect. So there we go. So great, love it. Let's set this to be width. And we can set this to be width, and we'll just set a default width of 640. We'll do a height and set a default height to 360. And before we continue this, I'll be right back. No, I won't be right back. It's fine. The dogs are just barking, so I want to make sure that they're okay, and I think they're fine. So credit, well, let's do alt description first. So alt description, duplicate that, do alt description, alt description. All right, so what other types are left? Width, height we have, priority doesn't matter, credit, ID doesn't matter. All right, so then we have, so I think we actually need to get that out of its object there. Oops. Get rid of image. And instead, actually no, I will be right back. 1 second, sorry guys. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. All right, so we need to add creator type, creator, and creator link. Creator, sure, just to put it in there, creator link, creator type. All right, but none of that's going to be, I think, right. Or actually it is. I think I just need to add these type checks to them. So I don't think it is credit. I think it's, well, it is, and then it's image dot credit dot creator. Yeah, I don't know what I did to jack up these layers of images, but it should not be this difficult. Image. Perfect. All right, and then I can get rid of this image. And that gets rid of that error. So great. But of course that's going to break a bunch of other stuff because I have it in other places. So let's take a look at where. First, copy and paste, or copy all of this, and go to our image object and just see where we have it. All right, so image object. Let's replace this. Set it with image. It's going to be too difficult to manage, so I think I can get rid of all of these images and then everything should be fine. I don't think it's supposed to be content, so what do I have here? Oh, okay. So this is going to be quite a bit of work here. So I need to replace this image also with, this is why I did an image type, so I didn't have to do this a bunch of times. But it seems like I'm just going to have to, well, it accepts an image, so, So let's see where this is being used. It's being used in our blocks, and I'm getting a blocks content with media. We're getting a blocks.image, so I should actually just be able to use, I should still be able to use this type, I think. So instead of content, it should be, we'll see if this works, image.image. Okay, so this is promising. I should just be able to get rid of the type checks and be fine. And the content, of course. Oof. All right, let's do this a little bit faster. Get rid of all of that. All that should be good now. And we should be okay with the image object type there as well. Still got plenty to do though, so let's continue going. This one's replaced. Do I have an error on this page? Yes, okay. So image object, and then is there another one up here? Yes. All right, so I should though be able to just replace this one with that, though why didn't content work? I thought that's what it was just then. Oh, featured. Okay, so we can just replace all of these contents with featured. Great, perfect. Then image doesn't work, so I assume. Featured. Weird. Okay, so if I have featured dot I am confusion. So let's get rid of all of that again. So featured content. Featured dot content. Perfect. And then we can come back down to this one and replace it with post. I'm actually going to say it out loud so I understand what I'm trying to do. Replace all this content. Well, actually, I think I need to add to it. Do post.content. Okay, doesn't look pretty, but at least I'm not getting errors, and that's the big thing to me. That's going to be a problem. Oh, no, it's not. So I'm just going to replace this with file name. And then do credit, and then do creator. It's creator. Creator type. Creator type, which I don't know why this isn't working properly. Here, let's just delete credit real quick. So if I do credit, then open that up, I should be able to get creator, creator link, creator type. And each of those should have creator. That's why, okay. Creator link. And with this being the add image schema, we're going to come down here, creator type, creator, and creator link. Perfect. So we'll add creator type, creator link, creator type. Oh, okay, and so that's not included up here, so we need to add those. So I'll do file name, alt description, width, height, creator type, creator link. And then select all those, comma. There we go. So we need a file name. We need the height, the width, and the alt description. All right, so our image object then should be fixed. We will look for our, we'll look for our next victim of fixing this. Oh, that's our image object. We need that. So let's take this image object and then go back over here. Content with media should be fine now, right? Oh no, I didn't fix it all the way. Okay, so next one is this. I wonder if image just works now. 3 dots. Why? Oh, because I'm doing it wrong. Will that work? Nope. Okay. So let's just paste in all that stuff. What was this before? It was just image. So what did I do down up here? Image file name. So, and I didn't need any of the type checks, so I can just take all of these. Oh, almost. Okay, there we go. Why doesn't credit work here? Does not exist on image object. It should. Oh, it does not. You're right. So image then. There we go. Dot image. Great. Perfect. Love it. All right, so that's content with media. Let's see if things are working as I go. So content with media, perfect. It's working as I go. Love it. All right. So next up, we're going to find another image object. Yeah, so this is TypeScript errors with image object. So we're working on our to-do list. It's fine. This counts. Just sucks that I thought I knew what I was doing with TypeScript, and here we are having to redo everything. I think this one probably needs it. Yep. So we're going to come here to content with media and steal this, because I don't think we're going to have to redo this a bunch of times if we do it this way. Replace image, this, perfect, with this, and with this, perfect. Great. So that one's done. And then this is cards, so that means these should be working. Great. So let's close that, you can close that, and that. Come back to our image object. Find our next one. So that one's good, that one's good, that one's good. Image object, that one's good, that one's good, all good there. That one's not good, so we can come here, logo image. So let's paste, and then I think I need to just change all of these to our logo. I guess I need to add a type check. So, since this is all going to be the same anyway, let's do type of logo.image does not equal string. Okay, so it's not that. So I'm wondering if it's logo.image.image. Yep, there we go. All right, it's either the type check or I just need to go down an extra level, but that's easy to troubleshoot. That one's good. Good. Just keep going down, down, down. Point. And I think this one I'm going to need to do point.image. Point.image. Continue our path down. This one will be step.image. Step.image. No, that should be right? Yeah. Okay. This one will just be like that. Perfect. Oh, I'm almost done. Can't wait. Alright, add that. Great, great. Oh, image object. Oh, this one's going to be interesting. Resource image. Yeah, okay. So I think I'll need to do resource.image. Yep, alright. All good there. Logo. And then I think that's everything. Perfect. Alright, so we should have all of our images back. And that makes me happy that we can then... Oops, didn't mean to save that. Let's save this over here. We can get rid of that. And now, got another couple minutes before calling it quits. Let's do the generate static params for blog posts, why don't we? So, we're going to need to, I believe it's at this level here. And so, we already have our generate static params up here for our page. Is it right here? It is right there. So let's just steal this. And I'll walk through everything I'm doing, so it's not going to be all for naught here. So at our slug page, below, we'll do it above, doesn't really matter. Above generate metadata, we'll do generate static params. We're going to wait to get payload, but instead of pages, we'll do blogs. Payload find posts. Limit, sure, this will be blogs. And then anything that's not draft, not override access. We don't need to worry about home. No, excuse me. Where'd I go? There we are. All right, so we just need to map and return slug in the return params. So now we're initializing payload. We're querying all of the blog posts by doing payload.find, limit of 1,000, so like we'll never hit that number. And then all of that is going into our params, which we're returning as an object slug. So that should work. I'll try it on our rebuild here, but before we do that, let's also get redirects in here as well. So we'll come over to our page. We do have our redirects component here, and it's already imported over here, so that goes within. We'll do the article, and then we'll need to set our URL. So again, we're just going to take that from here, and this is only going to matter if there is a blog post. So we'll do URL slug, and then that'll be the redirect there. There should be another redirect in here as well. Yes, if there's no page. So instead of what I did with down here where I just did this like 404, we would actually probably return redirects for URL. There we go. So now it'll redirect if it's there, and then it should also do not found. Let's make sure that that's right. So we can do blog, future blog. Yeah, there's a not found page right there. It doesn't look great, but we can style that later. Perfect. And so since there's no redirect, it goes straight to, within this redirect, there is a not found, where if redirect item, if it's there, if disable not found, return null. So if I were to disable not found, and then go to blog, future blog, I should just either get an error or something. Yeah, I'll get an error. So, don't want an error. Let's go ahead and leave disable not found enabled. Or let's enable not found. That's totally what I meant. And then anything else will be return not found. And this is where we would style. No, it's not. We would have to create a not found file to style that. But again, that is something that we will do later. But our blogs then should be set. And so if we want to make sure, I hesitate to try and build this because there are just so many other things, but let's give it a shot. So we're letting this try to build. I do have some other type errors, so this may not actually build, but I do want to be able to see if our SSG is working, because I have it set on both our pages and our blogs. Yeah, props, page props, types of properties. So this is on blog slug page. Blog slug page. Where is page props? Type slug string is missing the following properties. Satisfy the constraint. Type props. Do I even have page props on this page? I don't. The prop type props does not satisfy the constraint page props. Type of property params are incompatible. Type slug string is missing the following properties from type. Okay, so this is not where I thought we would be getting an error, but let's take a look at this. And by take a look at it, let's take a look at how I did it in a different project. Alright, so if I go to our pages, and we can look at, I guess the messages would be the best place to look. And then we can find our generate static params, which I usually put at the bottom, but I did not. Generate metadata. Here we go, static params. Oh, that's not even what I'm looking for. So props, params, slug, string. So let's try this promise metadata. Is what I'm looking for, I think. And then that should be all I need. Okay, so let's give it a shot. Go back over here, open in this window. Let's set of, I don't think I need props for this. And I can do promise metadata. This is a NextJS thing for sure, so let me take a look at the docs for that. Let's go ahead and leave those there. Import type, metadata, generate metadata function, that's what we're using. Type props, params. Okay, so params needs to be taking up all of the screen real estate. So let's close that. Generate metadata. Open that up. We've got params and search params and our props. So params here actually. Let's do params and then have that be promise ID string. I don't know why args got added to the end of that. Oh, sorry, I need slug, not ID. Still doesn't work. Property slug does not exist on All right, well, let's log our params real quick. Log params. All right, reload. Oh, let's get off a future blog. So that should... Get out of here. Scram, kid. All right, let's go back to the blog. Then go to the featured post. Yeah, I'm not going to get anything from... okay. So what do we have? Log test, throw a new error. Params. Maybe I need to do async. Since it's a promise now. Or sorry, await. Ugh, I know what I'm talking about, I promise. Alright, so let's try that again. So slug, do await params. There we go. Hit that. So let's restart just in case. Let it load up. Still getting an error. Alright, so back to the NextJS docs. And then, so all of this is type promise metadata. Alright, so then we will do... We're just going to steal from the docs here, but that's what the docs are there for. Always look at the docs. Alright, so we do await params dot slug. Let's see if this works. Alright, so I'm taking exactly what they wrote, I believe. So we have our export async function, generate metadata with our params, with params being a promise of slug string, and make sure that slug is what I'm trying to target, which it is. Here, let's clear that real quick and just refresh to make sure that I'm getting what I need. Okay, so this is the only thing that's there. A required parameter slug was not provided as an array, received in string, and generate static params. Okay, so the problem then, in the, oh, because I'm trying to, okay. So next step is up here and generate static params. We need slug is slug 0. Whoops. Slug 0 because it needs a string. Hold on. So let's log blogs. Well, blogs.docs. So this metadata stuff is not even what I was supposed to be working on, it looks like. So I think I can leave this here since it should work. But the problem though is in our generate static params here. So what is it expecting? So if I come up here, generate static params, there's no type. And so slug should just work just fine. So let's go ahead and log params just to see what we get. Go ahead and refresh. Should get something from this one. Yeah, so then I see it's an array of slug params, which should be correct. Oh. Okay, so I think I have it as, it does need to be catch-all, and that's the problem. So let's rename this. Yeah. Okay. Which means then the slug doesn't need to be 0 anymore, and neither does this one. I hit save. Is this still on? Nope, my featured post. Perfect. Okay. So that was a whole mess. Alright, so we can get rid of you. Let's try that build function again, shall we? Or wait, is that another error? Or is that from before? Let's take a look. I get so many errors from this. Let's refresh. Okay, so yeah, still an error. In our export async function blog, params, props, slug. So let's set our type up here to match what is over here. So we'll just, again, copy and paste, take you, param slug dot ID, okay. Which means then I can, instead of that, just do props. Come down here and do the same thing where I have props, and we're gonna await params. Oops, do it the same way. Await params dot slug. That should get rid of all of our errors. Again, I'll clear the console real quick to be sure of it. Hit refresh over here. Perfect. So let's try that build again. And here we'll just take a second because it's going to do the optimized build and then lint check. And then here I've got some more errors. Yeah, okay, so I won't be able to, because I don't want to delete this file. This is going to be our RSS feed, and I just have so many things that are commented out. So if I go to blog, feed, route, TS, all of this is just commented out. So, all right, so we're not going to be able to build. No biggie. I kind of trust that our generate static params is going to work for at least those. So we just have some more work to do on everything that we're doing. All right, so let's take a look at our to-do list. We have our generate static params for blog posts, and what we want to do is on-demand revalidation with hooks for individual posts. So this shouldn't take too long, honestly. So if we go to our collections, we go to our hooks, I have all of these revalidation hooks already, and we just need to make sure that they're set up right. So this is, let's get this reorganized, shall we? Yep, there we go. So this, I kind of liked that. No. So I don't, this is from an old project. This I would, like a collection, I would query a creative collection of items to add the extra layer to the slug, but we don't need that here. So what this is saying is that if our document status is published, so we have published and we have draft, create a path that is our blog with the document slug, and then tell me that you're revalidating that path. And so that's going to log it, and then it's going to actually revalidate the path by using revalidate path from NextJS. So that's a NextJS thing there for cache. But if the previous doc status, so the original doc in this is an after change hook, then if that's published and the doc status, like the new doc status, is not published, then it'll revalidate the old path and then return that old path as well. So then it'll return the doc as a whole and purge the cache and return the new document on the front end. So all of this is done with payloads hooks, which I believe I should have set up in posts already, and I do. But what I did for another project is that whenever like a new post was updated, it would need to revalidate all of the path for all of the other pages because there were relationships between the two, and I just didn't know a better way to do it at the time. But we don't need to do that anymore. Well, we still need it for blog, so it'll revalidate the blog page. We don't need to do anything in the media page. We don't need to do anything with the slugs, and we don't need to revalidate the home page. And I'm actually going to use the blog posts on the home page, but what I want to do is use partial pre-rendering to do that for me. So that'll be a whole other thing. I'm not even close to getting to there yet. I guess I am. The blog posts are done. So now we have after operation, which this is going to say after operation of create and or of delete by ID. It'll revalidate the path blog here. Do I even need, oh yeah, rec for the logger. Perfect. So that's going to take care of my posts for me. And then while I'm talking about hooks, I'm going to go ahead and go over, I'm just making sure there's no other hooks in here. Hooks. There are more hooks. Okay, so this is for the canonical. This is to revalidate posts. All right, so this is for the slug. Okay. No, not for the slug. This is for the link, the final link that I can just copy and paste. Then we have our description. So if the description updates, it's going to revalidate it. I don't even think we need this, because if the description updates, it should only affect the featured post. So I wonder if we can do content description. So if we get data, which we have, so if data dot, why is the if statement weird? All right. Do you guys need to move? All right. If data dot, okay, so maybe it's not data. Oh, it should be doc. Doc. It is data, but original doc. If original doc dot, man. Maybe sibling data. Sibling data dot. Where is it? Should be a featured checkbox or something, which is probably in the sidebar, but that's fine if it's in the sidebar. Let's do featured. So then this is an all kinds of mess. There we go. All right, so in a perfect world, what this is doing is it's saying if the sibling data, if the featured field in all of this is true, which that's what this is, which is what this is saying, then it'll revalidate the home page and the blog page. But I don't really need to revalidate the home page because the featured post won't have descriptions, but the blog page will, so we'll leave that. So we'll hit save, and let's see if we can make this work in our posts. It says network error, but I should still be logged in. And then we'll test this, and then call it a big old quits. If it decides to work. Yes, there it is. All right, so go over to our posts. All right, so we have a featured post right here. If I open that, and then let's go to edit our content description. This is even longer. And hit save. Revalidating blog app path blog test. And so we're not going to be able to see anything change, because even though this revalidated the path like we wanted it to, we think it did anyway. So let's go back to our posts and update this one's description. Revalidating blog. Oh, so we actually wanted this to be revalidating homepage and blog page. So feature or sibling data is not the right one. Let's hold on, featured. All right, so I believe then validating blog page. So maybe it's just data then. And then else nothing. So let's save that again. And this is why we test things. So we're going to go back to posts. We're going to go to our thing here. And then, yeah, there we go. So it's revalidating the blog page because the description has changed. Since this is a featured post, if the description changes, we'll want to go to blog to see. Yep. So the description, is this a, oh, it needs to be on the summary field. Of course it does. So let's change that. So instead of it being there, we can just add the hook. I'm going to add it to the bottom here. Hooks. So now when the summary changes, this will change automatically. But of course, since this is a development server, this is just going to hot refresh regardless of what I do. So we're not going to do anything there. All right, perfect. So we have talked about our on-demand revalidation with hooks for individual posts. So that should be done now. We can make sure that this is good for our pages as well. And yep, that looks good to me. And then let's just go double check our pages collection here. And make sure that there was nothing else. Create canonical is what we wanted there. Search for hooks. Revalidate page. Oops. Create canonical. Perfect. All right. So we've got our hooks done. So the next step is we are going to start working on our contact form and then start building out these industry pages that I've been talking about for weeks now. And then wrap it all up with schema. I'm sure there's going to be other things that pop up as we go through this. There's a bunch to do with payload and a lot of optimizations that we can do before deploying this. And honestly, this won't, well, it'll be deployed just so I have something to show off. But at the end of the day, this is something that I'm going to be able to clone and use later on down the road. But if you enjoyed this, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. I'm going to be doing this at least 2-3 times a week, just depending on my schedule. At least every Sunday night, I'll be doing this. So make sure you're subscribed and that you see when I go live. Like the content, share it. And I'll see you on the next one I do. If you do have any suggestions for topics, feel free to send them my way. I'm happy to explore them. I'll see you next time.